So guys, welcome. I am Mike from Living in 8 Bits.
Carmen, I should hold up.
Oh, yeah, we have
I'm
a
not
microphone.
privileged enough to have a mic stand like they are, so I gotta hold mine. Is that better? You guys hear
There
me?
you go.
Can you guys hear me? Should I hold it this close? And that's Joey down there, who is ripping labels. If you've seen the new episode, he is Mario, or I guess lead plumber of the new series, Super Plumber Brothers.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My voice is a little hoarse from doing this all weekend. How many people? We always start every panel. How many people actually know who we are? All right, that's a good. So some of you guys are kind of new to us. Just to give you a brief introduction, we produce sketch comedy based on the logic and tropes of retro video games. We have previously 5 seasons released on DVD. It's all Nintendo-based kind of humor. And then this year we introduced a new spin-off series called Super Plumber Brothers. And the whole basis of the series is what if Mario and Luigi were put into a work placement program at a temp agency? We have 4 episodes released now at this moment. There are 2 more coming in this season. And what's really exciting is this time last year, we actually shot the majority of an episode here at TooManyGames. To quickly kind of give you a little info into the production of Super Plumber Brothers. So we, at Living in 8 Bits, we've been doing it for about 5 years. And after our 50th episode, our big Kickstarter where we did the DVD, we needed to take a break. I think these guys can attest to it as well. We were very burnt out, the whole crew. It was a very tough process to keep doing an episode every month for 5 straight years. And so we were off for a little bit. And this was more or less Carmen's doing, kind of getting the crew back together. And he pitched this idea, Carmen.
I guess the way it was all wrapping up was like we were hitting episode 50. We had to figure out where we were going. It was, you're rounding it out. 50. All right, what happens now? Do we keep going? Do we keep going with Living in 8 Bits? Do we spin off? What are the ideas here? And so I got, it was me, Mike, Joey, Matt, and Steph all got together at my house. And we just kind of started throwing ideas. I had an initial idea of having a temp agency where these guys just go in and possibly have, start getting jobs. And then we just started, it snowballed from there. It was nice having like 5 of us all together because the conversation would just keep going. It's not like an issue where you would stop and there'd be that awkward silence like, all right, so what now? It's just me and Mike, and you're just sitting there staring at each other blindly. But with the 5 of us, we were just, the ideas just kept going. Next thing I know, in a week, 2 weeks even, scripts. Joey had a script, Matt had a script, Steph had a script, and we were all reading scripts, going over jokes, reading the jokes. What do you guys think of this joke? What do you think of this joke? And one thing led to another, and there we are. We got the 6 episodes. We shot it in 2 months? Over the span of from start to finish.
Shot 4 or 5 random days over weekends because we all have full-time jobs. We all have lives. And then we were in post-production up until we released the first episode in April. But even before that, the writing process, Joey wrote a script, I wrote a script. Like everybody kind of took a lead on the script, and then we would volley them back and forth as we all pitched jokes and all that. But this is how the production process goes. So now we're almost a year and 5 months since we initially came up with the idea, and we're finally now releasing episodes. It's a very long process making films. Joey, you haven't chimed in yet. Do you have anything to chime about the production process?
Yeah, I agree. No, yeah.
Classic Joey.
It never gets old.
No, I was, yeah, because the first episode we did was here, and as you said, and I felt like it was like forever since we actually started the other episodes. It was like a long hiatus. So it was interesting doing it that way because, and we kind of had like a continuity because with Living in 8 Bits, we just they're just all random episodes. They didn't really have any kind of, like steady narrative between episodes. But this has a whole arc over the 6 episodes. So it's interesting, filming them out of sequence how we did, and kind of a new venture for us, I would say.
To elaborate with what Joey's saying, when we filmed Living in 8 Bits, pretty much all 50 episodes were on a week. We would get an email saying who can get together what day, and we would figure it out. The most people that could get together was the day that we usually picked. There was no, as Joey said, there was no story arc. We had the script. you learn the script and you filmed it, 2 days usually on a weekend, 3 days at most if we had to. There was one episode, which one was it?
Well, the 50th episode was over the span of like a month.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about there was one episode I showed up and I didn't even know the script. And I didn't even know I was the lead on the script.
That was the one with James Rolfe.
I showed up, I had no idea I was the lead, and they're like, so you ready to go? I was like, yeah, why not? Here we go. It's like, no, do you know your lines? No. And I had to learn this, but that was how we did it then. This was a whole new era. I mean, we were just like, we got to figure out, if we're going to do this, we're going to do it right. We're going to get everything together. We're going to get, schedule everything, get everything booked, do what we have to. And that's pretty much what we did. So when we were filming, it was very too structured. I mean, we didn't really veer too far off of what we were planning that day. We booked locations, did everything, by the book. I mean, Matt and Steph really helped us out with that.
Well, yeah, like I think probably because a lot of what we do with these panels is try to teach people a little bit about the filmmaking process. A lot of people kind of have this misconception that you just show up with the camera and point it and go. A typical day on Super Plumber Brothers was about 14 hours long that we shot everything. So knowing up front what we had to do, so every episode at one point they're in the office with Sarah's character, Jenna. All those scenes were shot on the same day. So we needed to know from all 6 scripts, there was probably about 8 or 10 scenes total that had to be shot in that location. Because you think about it this way, you can't pay to book that location for more than once. You got all those actors together, so you're booking their schedule all at once. You're wrapping their stuff up all at once. Same thing with props. Food, you got to feed your crew. So like we were able to get one catered meal throughout the day that everybody can eat, and that's how we went about it. That's how real filmmaking is done. A typical filmmaking day is a 10 to 14 hour day, and that's on the shorter end. A couple episodes, we shot a couple of them where there were 2 of them back to back. So we actually shot at Carmen's place, shooting 2 full episodes. One was the Party Planners, which people have already seen, and the next episode, episode 5, where I'll give you a little hint, they become landscapers. Yeah. And there's also a dog and a bunny in this episode. So figure out how these all mix together. I'd be curious to hear your theories. But because we knew that we were going to be in this location, it only makes sense that we shoot both of them back to back. But that means we're starting at 7, 8 a.m. and we're going until 9, 10, sometimes 11 p.m. And that's how the process goes. And we approach Super Plumber Brothers much more like a film, like a feature film, how you would shoot it, than a web series shooting individual episode to episode. And I think it made a better product. It made it look more coherent and clearer. And don't get me wrong, there was a lot of improv, there were a lot of great random moments. And then once we finished filming all of this, then it goes into post-production. So that means it all had to be edited. I was the main editor on all of it. We had a visual effects artist who had to do, I think he did 15 visual effects shots, and that included anything that blew up. If you've seen episode 2 of the Party Planners episode, they're pumping lava into a basement, so there's lava and fire. Carmen is the lava delivery man.
Which you saw the hat thing.
Yeah.
The hat thing was the initial look. Like, what do you guys think of this? And that's why I laughed when he put that in. I was like, you really put that in?
I
yeah,
did.
Well, that's you.
And so he had to do all the visual effects shots. Then we also, if you listen very closely, there's a custom score. So we had a musician do a custom musical score for it. And a lot of people don't think about this stuff, like when you want to make a video, but this is a team of people. And I can't stress enough, whenever the credits roll in these episodes, look at those credits and see these individual talented people who are doing this work. Because, yeah, like we're up here, you're the ones, we're the ones that you're seeing, but there's all these people that put everything they have into this series because they love it. And I can't thank them enough. Yeah.
They'll see it.
They'll see it, yeah. Because we're filming this, remember, to hold on to eternally.
I think Chris Pateko is definitely deserves a lot of credit because the special effects are really, really good, especially for the budget we work with, too. So,
Which is very low.
Yeah, it's a very small budget. So it's just really impressive to see, all the behind-the-scenes stuff. how it comes together at the end. This is actually the first time I watched this, and I'm really just taken away because you're filming something for so long, and you have to really use your imagination to say how's this going to come out. But then once you see the final product and all the work that it takes to get it through post-production, it's really interesting.
But we definitely, unless you guys have anything else to add, definitely like to hear from you guys. If you have questions about filmmaking or what we do, be happy anytime. Just raise your hand, or else we're going to keep rambling. But we'd love to answer some questions. Yeah.
Well, that's actually a good question. Our crew is how many we have up here? 3, 4.
Yeah.
No,
I know there's a lot of, you're doubling everything.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, when Mike put this out, you'll notice that in the credits now he puts production crew, because there's no way that, the list would go on and on if you listed everything that everybody did. When you're working with no budget, it's like, hey Joey, I need you to hold the microphone for this one. It's just Matt. All right, I just hold the microphone for me. Okay, and he's holding the microphone while Mike's filming, and I'm moving the lights around while in between takes. All right, I'll move the lights around. Sarah was there doing makeup. Sarah was Jenna.
Yeah.
She's doing makeup, for God's sakes.
She
everybody
did makeup,
steps up.
camera assistant,
Yeah.
props, set, production design. She designed the set for The Office.
She did one of the paintings too, right?
She did the painting,
She did one of the
the Picasso Mario painting in episode 3. She did.
Yeah.
Her dog is in the next episode, so she was the dog trainer. Everybody had multiple jobs. Some people I think are sad. Don't worry, you will see Jobo Cop. Don't worry. Everybody from the original Living 8-Bits cast actually does appear either through voiceover or on camera in every single episode. But Jobo Cop was there behind the scenes every day. Joe Lees, who was Gunther in the second Robot Masters episode, he was part of the production crew. Carmen is in there as 2 different characters randomly spliced. Yeah, Carmen used to be the lead in everything, but we kind of focused our efforts on these 2 characters, and everybody else kind of chipped in and helped out behind the scenes.
Yeah, I feel kind of spoiled because I remember the old days back before living in 8-bits, old school mix-ups production. I think I did everything too. When I was an actor, then I did Grip, I did Boom Man, and as Carmen said, we kind of all chipped in. But it's nice to see now how Carmen really does a lot of work behind the scenes. He's very tremendous with crew work. So is and Sarah is as well. So it's like I'm not used to it. All I do is just come and I act, and I don't have to hold the boom or anything.
Yeah, you are spoiled.
Yeah, right. I don't have to hold the boom or slate or anything.
No, but you've had a lot of lines to remember that one day. The one day it was 12, 14 hours when we filmed at the community. The art scene was Mike was referring to was a 10, 12-hour day. That one was one of the shorter ones in comparison to when we filmed the actual office scene, which was, like Mike said, every episode. That was, let's see, three cast. Matt, it was me, you, and Sarah, and you had the 2 Jobos. So it was 5 crew amongst lights in a room smaller than this. And it was getting hot. In between takes, I think you don't see it, but I'm sitting there, I'm fanning the door because these guys are sweating, and while I'm fanning the door, I'm moving the lights. Sarah's putting on makeup, it's everybody is kind of multitasking. And that comes with, I guess, working with friends more than it does come working with just, people that you pull out of the street. We're all willing to help each other for the greater good, kind of thing. But it's nice when we all want to step up for what makes to be a better product. So I guess to initially answer your question, minimal, bare bones, skeleton crew.
Well, that's actually a really good question, because what we do, we create everything ourselves. So we're not using, even though they look like Mario and Luigi, they're not Mario and Luigi. We refer to them as the Plumber Brothers. It doesn't have the M on the hat, and it's clearly a parody, which falls into fair use. The music is all originally scored music, which seems to what you would get struck for the most on YouTube. We designed all the sets. We designed the props. The first episode, we have a joke where there's a piranha plant that comes out of a pipe and chomps, and that's claymation. So we, instead of taking a actual sprite or something from the game, I took modeling clay, and then frame by frame, animated it doing this, And then in After Effects, we had to come out and chop. Because we create all this stuff ourselves, we kind of don't fall into that line. We keep into fair use and parody, satire. If we were doing like, using game footage, then it'd be a different animal. But because we always say this, we're filmmakers first and gamers second. Loved retro games is like, but it just seems living in 8 bits is what people seem to have gotten to notice by us. If you go on our channel, there's actually so much other stuff. We've made feature films, music videos. Some of them are comedy, some of them are just flat out drama. We've done horror, we've done everything. It's just everybody seems to know us for living in 8 bits, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But we always try to approach every project from a filmmaking point of view, which means creating it ourselves, doing everything ourselves from scratch. And I think that adds a little bit more of our stamp on our work.
So what would you say is the best way to pitch a screenplay or a screenplay idea or a movie idea to anybody within the industry?
It's tough now, and I'm not gonna lie, like even from our point of view, because people think like we're professionals, there's so many people out there that it's hard just getting noticed in the first place. Really, the best thing is to be original. Find an original way to do it. Make sure what you're doing is original and fun, and but a lot of it comes down to how you pitch yourself, because you're not only pitching a story or a screenplay or anything, you're pitching yourself as a worker. You're pitching yourself as a personality. And a very good example, Troy Duffy. Anybody know who Troy Duffy is? He directed The Boondock Saints. His script, there's this great documentary, have you ever heard of it, called Overnight?
Oh yeah.
It's on Netflix, it's a great documentary. His script for Boondock Saints was like this heavily coveted script. Everybody wanted it. And the production process, though, he got so to his head that he became so difficult during the production process. An absolute diva, a horrible person to work with. And that's why, other than Boondock Saints 2, what else has he done? Like, people don't talk about it. Because he not only did they have to buy his script, they had to buy him. So a lot of it also has to come with how you present yourself. I mean, I may be biased, but I think that we're a fun group of people. We're a charismatic, together as a crew, like we're charismatic, we're easy to talk to, we're easily approachable, and we all have different kinds of talents. So when people hire us, and we do get hired to work on other narrative projects or anything like that, they're buying us as well. They're buying our personality, they're buying our work ethic. So that's really what you should do, is not only have your finely tuned script, make sure it's in the correct script format as well.
Yes, career new fonts, everything.
Make sure the margins are correct as well, because it sounds so silly, but I know this from experience. If you give somebody a script that's not in screenplay format, there are 2 places they can give it, either back to you or in the trash can. And there's some free software out there like Celtics, spelled CELTX,
Yeah.
Final Draft. We use Final Draft. Definitely try to get your hands on some screenwriting software. And the reason why, like, say I'm a studio exec, and you hand a script to someone who they're going to give you their money to invest in it. If you can't take the time to do it correctly in just the screenwriting portion of it, how are they going to take you seriously to go through production? And Joey, I see you kind of itching there.
I got some. Yeah, I got
All
some
right.
things. I was gonna say, I guess to answer back to the original question about pitching, that's really an art in itself. Is because the thing with screenwriting is it's so formulaic compared to any other type of narrative work. Like you want to write a novel or a short story, you have a little freedom, you'd have a little artistic freedom there. But when it comes to screenwriting, everything has to be done according to like structure. Like it has 1 minute, it has to be like, act 1 has to end at this page and act 2 has to begin like this way. So I think the best way, if you want to, even get noticed with that, I think screenwriting contests are a really good avenue.
And definitely, like if you want to also learn about pitching, film yourself. So you need to pitch, you need to practice pitching, you need to public speaking, even acting classes. Taking an acting class actually would really help you a lot, because it gets you kind of in motion, and it gets you thinking about speaking to somebody. Like a lot of us, we have a lot of experience in public speaking, which is why we get up here, we're able to do this. I did theater, Joey did theater, Carmen works in radio. Like we've all done stuff where we've had to speak to a mass audience. So practicing that will help you be able to look and appear more confident. Like you're watching us up here, we seem like we're confident, and like do we kind of seem like we know
this?
Yeah, like
The
and-
elevator pitch.
But and a lot of that is a part of it. So it's a lot of practice. So it isn't so much how good your script is, like going back to what I initially said. It's also how good your presentation of the script is.
Yeah,
I'd say we have a friend of ours Tommy, who is an excellent silver tongue, if you will. I mean, he networks like I've never seen anybody network. He came out with a documentary a few years ago called I Am Santa Claus. I don't know if you guys have heard of it or you've seen it.
Mick Foley's involved with it.
Mick Foley is involved with it. Yeah, he's a great guy. He's one of the nicest guys you'd ever meet, and he is a silver tongue. He worked himself up, and now he's working on a movie called Ghost Heads, which
It's about Ghostbusters, the
Yes.
Ghostbuster fan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Tommy.
Tommy's the producer on
Great
that.
friend of mine. He's a really nice guy. Would do anything for you.
He's in a few early Living in 8-Bits episodes.
Yeah, he was in the Paperboy one. What else? He was Blowing Equals Working, one of the first episodes.
I Am Error.
I Am Error.
Yeah, like that's Tommy.
But
he's worked with us on so many things, but a lot of that is because he's just so good at presenting himself, and
he's modest. Like if you were to talk to him about it, he would act like it just comes easy to him. He can just do it.
So I mean that kind of goes back to the initial point. Like it's a lot of practice of him presenting himself. Like he had this idea. I want to see what Santa Clauses are like in the off season. And he went and pitched this idea and was able to get funding for it. And now Morgan Spurlock picked it up and put it out, and Mick Foley's involved with it. And because of that, he was on The Daily Show promoting it.
WrestleMania? Did you guys see the WrestleMania where Mick Foley came out as Santa Claus? Anybody? No, you guys don't watch wrestling? I watch wrestling. Come on. Mick Foley came out as Santa Claus, and I was like, Tommy, you did that! He goes, yeah, I did. I like that, It's just networking.
Definitely check this documentary out. Honestly, it is a fabulous, wonderful documentary. And I can't wait for Ghost Heads. I feel like I'm plugging him. I'm not even involved. I'm not even involved with Ghost Heads.
I'll tell you this with documentaries. You can have a plan, but it won't go to plan. The way you work with documentaries is you got to have an open mind to what your story's going to be, because it's not necessarily there. For example, I've seen this recently because of what happened, with Prince passing away. Kevin Smith released a half-hour segment. He was answering a question about Prince, how he went to go film a documentary for Prince. He had no idea what he was filming. Prince only told him that he was going to film these guys people listening to this unheard Prince album. And so Kevin Smith filmed all these people. It was like a 2-week film fest. He just was filming people in Prince's house. Had no idea what he was filming.
Yeah, Prince didn't show up
And-
for like 40 minutes, found out that everything was
Exactly.
hiding.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like the NSA had just busted in.
You have no idea what your story is going to be when you film a documentary, because people won't answer the questions how you want them to. And that's okay, but just plan on that. Because as you're watching the film afterwards, ready to edit it together, you're going to say, oh, here's my story. It's gonna come together. This isn't what I planned.
We did a documentary called Filming in 8-Bits on this.
We did.
I have a question about your editing.
Yeah.
Do y'all do it in-house, or is it like on your home computer?
Well, in-house is our own computer. We don't have a office per se. Matt and Steph, who are co-writers, producers, they have their own company, Cinnabore Studios, which we co-produced it. We're Mixed Nuts Productions. We joined forces and been this unstoppable force. Like I see a Nerd vs. Geek shirt there. Like we worked on Nerd vs. Geek together, and then they came on board for Living in 8-Bits. They have an office as well, but honestly, it's our own stuff. All the camera gear, like it's stuff that I've invested in over the years because my passion was making movies, and all that. A very, very similar path to like what James did, James Rolfe, and all these other filmmakers. We kind of all took the same path of how we got to where we are, but it's our own investment. It's our own stuff.
I was gonna ask, do you recommend any good freeware if you want to edit? Like, what's some good if you don't want to pay for Final Cut Pro? What's some good freeware?
Well, first off, I would tell you not to get Final Cut Pro. But there really is no freeware that's worth it. I mean, like, people can make Windows Movie Maker or iMovie work for them. We edit on Adobe Suites. So we have all Adobe Premiere, After Effects, Photoshop, and that's kind of what the gold standard is. So we got about 5 more minutes left.
You make the Mac, isn't it?
Adobe can go on Mac or PC. So I have a
Adobe's,
PC.
I think it was going to, I think there was one I thought on the Mac.
Mac is Final Cut. Final Cut only is Mac. Yeah. Yeah, Final Cut 7 was like the big thing, and then what happened was Apple decided to make it into iMovie Plus, which was Final Cut X, and it's just a really watered down, dumbed down version of Final Cut, and I don't know, it doesn't do anything for me.
Have you heard of Avid?
Yes, and Avid is
A lot
the
of
other.
people went to Avid because of that, and then also that's when Avid dropped their price too.
Yeah, Avid is a big one. Avid is what a lot of the Hollywood studios use. And probably the cheapest of the pro grade is probably Sony Vegas. So we do have 5 minutes, so any last final quick questions? Yes.
You got when Super Plumber Bros done, is it gonna come on DVD?
I would hope so. I would love that. I would love to do another DVD.
Kickstarter campaign again?
Possibly.
Oh, I see some backers here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you guys planning on doing any projects in the near future?
Right now, I mean, it's really just this.
Yeah, we're gonna get these out, and then we're gonna have a little afterwards, figure it out, post production, see where we're at, see where we stand. We're not gonna stop filming. We were actually talking about this earlier. We're not gonna stop filming. We just might branch it off a little bit. We'll see.
Yeah, I will do Mario for as long as people aren't bored of him. once they get tired of him, I'll stop. So.
So,
Based out of,
yeah, I'm sorry?
where y'all based out of?
South Jersey.
South Jersey?
Yeah, we're Philly area, so.
Yeah, that's why the Jersey reference was so funny to us. That's where we're from.
So, last thing, get your raffle tickets out, because if you want to get the autographed DVD, who wants to do the drawing? I guess Joey's done it already.
Yeah, I butchered this at the door. All right, it is 392451. All right.
Oh, there you go. So you get a autographed DVD by us.
I found a lucky penny, right? It was lucky.
Well, thank you very much.
And we'll be around, guys. If you guys have any questions you don't want to
Yeah, like,
ask in front of people, we're more than willing to listen and hear and just chat. We're pretty approachable.
Please feel free. That will be your last chance to catch us this weekend. So thank you guys very much. I very much
Thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you.